here's another example. This is one where you have to find a missing part of the circle. So here they're asking us to find the radius of the circle. They told us that JH is a tangent line. Since they told us JH is a tangent line, we can draw a radius down, and that radius is going to be perpendicular. It's going to make a right triangle. We don't know the length of that radius, so we can call it x. But it's important to notice, again, this 8 is not the whole hypotenuse. It wouldn't make sense because 12 is a leg, 8 can't be the hypotenuse. It has to be the biggest. So we have to put another x there and know that this is 8 plus x. Now, a lot of you are going to freak out a little bit, but when we use the Pythagorean theorem, we square stuff. That means we're going to have to square that stuff. 8 plus x, not 8 times x. This is a distance. We're adding them. So we are going to have to remember how to square a binomial, and we're going to have to remember some quadratic equation stuff. You can do this. Don't panic. Here it goes. I'm going to write out the equation, pause the video, and write the equation out. If you want to write the equation out for yourself, pause the video for you too, and then check to see your work. That way you can do the process as if we were in class and I wasn't just giving you the answer. So I'm going to push pause, you push pause. We're all going to write the equation, and then we're going to compare. Okay, so here's my equation. You could also right here put 8 plus x. It's exactly the same thing. We're going to square this binomial. Pardon me, I'm going to put this down so I can write. But if you remember that, we've talked a lot about how to square a binomial, that it's not just x squared plus 8 squared, but it's actually, we square the x, we do 2 times 8 times x, and then we do 8 squared. If you have forgotten that, I can show you a slow-mo if you ask me to. I can show you how to do that part in pieces. But if you're not going to ask me, I'm not going to do it because we have gone over how to get that. And then now we're going to solve this. It may seem scary at first, but what's really nice about this one is that the x squareds are going to kill each other. They're going to be gone, and you're going to just have a single x. It's going to be a simple two-step equation once you get rid of your x squareds. Again, I'm going to pause, you solve, I solve. We'll compare in a second. Okay, so I subtracted the x's from both sides. I didn't write that down, but I did it. And I got 144 equals 16x plus 64. I did the rest. Let's see if I can turn it the right way. There we go. I subtracted 64 from both sides, divided by 16, and I got x equals 5. Now I have to be careful if that's my answer or not, because sometimes it's not your answer. Let's think back to what they're looking for. They're looking for the radius. So if we look at our picture up here, even though it's upside down, we can tell that the radius is x. Since x is our radius, that's what we want. That means that x is 5. So we found what they wanted using the Pythagorean theorem and our understanding of squares. I'll do the next one. I might not finish it in time by the end of this video because I only get 5 minutes per video. So we'll see how we do. Okay, next example, they want us to find x, which again, in this case, is the radius. It won't always be the radius that they're asking us to look for, but these ones it is. It told us to assume that anything that looks like a tangent line is a tangent line. That means we can make a right angle right at that point of tangent C, which is C. And they told us 17 is that whole length. So we're going to use that as the hypotenuse. This one's really nice. It's not a painful quadratic to do. The one that's the worst is the one we did before, where one side is like x plus something. But let's do this one. Okay, I'm going to have you pause, I pause, and we write out our first equation and then compare. How'd you do? X squared plus 14 squared equals 17 squared. Are we good? Okay. Grab a calculator or work on the side or whatever, and let's start solving this. I'm going to pause, you pause, we solve, get what x is. Okay, so here's what I did. Squared everything, subtracted, square rooted, and got square root of 93. It's not perfect. It does not tell me to round, so I'm not going to round. I'm going to leave it exact as the square root of 93. That's also not simplifiable. No numbers go into 93 2 times, like 3 and 31 are the only factors I could find. So this is it. Okay, I hope that helps with that example too.